हल्के में आपने ये देखना है कि जो सूबाई असेंबली के वोट हैं उस हल्के में, उनमें और कौमी असेंबली के वोटों में फर्क कितना है। मेरे हल्के में NA 1 to 8 में 1,10,000 वोटों का फर्क है। ये वो वोट है जो मेरे मध्य मुकाबिल को झूठ डाले गए, और ये चीज हर हल्के में हुई है। जब आप नेशनल असेंबली और प्रोविंशियल असेंबली के वोटों को उसी हल्के में देखेंगे तो आपको नजर आएगा कि उस दिन हुआ क्या। इससे ज्यादा आपको कुछ देखने की जरूरत नहीं है। आप हमारे सारे फॉर्म 45 तो देख ही सकते हैं, ये ऑनलाइन मौजूद है। इन फॉर्मों को कोई शख्स 2 दिन में नहीं बना सकता था। हमने इलेक्शन कमीशन में फौरन ये फॉर्म फाइल कर दिए ताकि ये इल्जाम न लगे कि किसी ने ये बाद में बनाए हैं। लेकिन इन फॉर्मों से ज्यादा जो फर्क है प्रोविंशियल और नेशनल का, वो आपको सब कुछ बता देता है। हमारा पैगाम लेकर जाइए जमहूरियत की खातिर, पाकिस्तान की इस्तेहकाम की खातिर, और सारी दुनिया को बताइए कि जब तक पाकिस्तान में जमहूरियत को मौका नहीं मिलेगा, पाकिस्तान में इस्तेहकाम नहीं आएगा। First thing to remember while we look at the data, the evidence that we have, is that the rigging that happened with respect to this election primarily happened at the offices of the returning officers. Now that is a very serious thing. Normally one talks of rigging at polling stations, where the accusation is that the rival candidates carried out the rigging. But once the votes have all been brought to the office of the returning officer, who is a state official, and once the forms, the Form 45, that tabulates the result at every polling station has been brought to the office of the returning officer, one expects that the final aggregate based on the results from each of the polling stations would be done fairly by the returning officer. Unfortunately, sadly, tragically, what happened between the night of the 8th and the 9th of February and during the course of the morning of the 9th of February was a massive assault on democracy in Pakistan. Fictitious Forms 47 were created, which had nothing to do with the underlying vote that had been cast on the 8th of February. The underlying Forms 45 that were delivered at the offices of the returning officers were tampered with, were discarded, and completely fictitious results were created in at least 90 National Assembly constituencies. Now this raises a very serious and troubling question for democracy going forward. What is the point in holding an election if you're going to create a result out of thin air? Why should people come and vote at all on polling day if the result is going to have nothing to do with how they voted? So now what we are facing is a permanent question mark over democracy going forward. If the state officials responsible for safeguarding the election can be won over, can do what they did during the night of the 8th and the 9th and the morning of the 9th of February, then every election to be carried out in Pakistan, to be conducted in Pakistan, becomes a farce.